My name is Nelly Boustany. I'm the Human Capital Management Senior Advisor at SAP covering EMEA South. Important for them to rethink. When we talk about transformation, it's all about people. Because if you think about it, when a company wants to transform its business model, the biggest accelerator is going to be their people. And the one that will be the main obstacle for change or resistant to change are people. That's why people are at the heart of transformation.
But when you say human transformation, they may be at the center of the change, but do you see them changing in any way because of the external influence of technology?
Yeah, I think people have to change. They will need to adapt to change. Otherwise, sooner or later, they will become irrelevant or obsolete. So one of the things that are coming with the technological advances is really the redefinition of the very nature of work. Of course, some jobs are being replaced by automation and robotics. Some others, are partially changing, but that's why people need to start reinventing themselves, thinking about how can they keep learning in order to stay relevant in the new world of work. And organizations that will be able to provide this platform for people to continue to learn will be having the most competitive advantage.
So I like that statement that if an organization encourages or facilitates an employee or a worker to change themselves and keep pace with the organization, such organization will be more sustainable.
Absolutely.
What is this dependent on culture? Is it dependent on a successful implementation of technology? Or is it a mixture of something else?
I think technology is only one side. Technology is an accelerator. But organizations need to decide what is the culture they want to have in order to survive and sustain their business. Second, they need to rethink the way they do things inside their organization. If the new world requires more agility, if I look at my processes internally and I see that they are too complex and they're not allowing me to move fast enough, so it's a combination. To answer your question, it's a combination of culture, of revisiting, your business processes and your HR processes when it comes to people, as well as the technology to enable that change.
Okay, let's go to the product, SAP SuccessFactor. So an HR solution is quite boring usually. It has capital management, productivity, KPIs, appraisals, this typical very boring stuff, but does not capture the soft skills, motivation, dedication to work, aptitude and other things like that. Does SAP SuccessFactor capture any of these?
So SAP SuccessFactor is a fully integrated talent management solution. Of course, it has the basics as core HR and payroll and the basics you need to manage your HR administration. But the heart of it is really how do you engage and make the talent experience with HR software simple, standard, and creating a better consumer experience. So from the moment you have the first touch point with your candidate up until you take them through the recruitment process, you bring them on board, you set their goal, their performance, you compensate them, and also they retire from the organization. So on one side, it helps employees have a better interface, and everything is mobile enabled. I forgot to mention. So it's very user friendly, and at the same time, it provides HR with the right tools to make fast decisions, gain the right data insights to make people decisions, and as well, managers are empowered to lead from the front with regards to their team and not to rely on HR to take decisions on their behalf.
Okay, I appreciate that it's very good in bringing an employee on board and it's very good in the day-to-day functions like you mentioned. But you did say that it helps or does manage human transformation. So I'm trying to see which aspects of human transformation are embodied in SAP SuccessFactor.
Yeah, there are two aspects, to be honest with you. One of it is around the support of continuous learning. Where people can, of course, your learning is linked to your development and what skills the organization wants to build for the future, but at the same time, the ability to take these learning anytime, anywhere. But I think the one that I'm most excited about is the recent addition that focuses on employee experience, and through the acquisition of Qualtrics. This is what I mean. And this allows us to really focus on employee experience throughout the employee life cycle through moments that matters. So at what point in time, you want to keep your hand on the pulse of the organization to predict and also anticipate things that might prevent you from retaining talent, or things that might be driving you to lose talent. Because on a global scale, studies have shown that replacing people might be quite costly. And I'm not going to go into percentages so you don't eliminate them from the interview. But I think it's something that is really quite important, especially with the younger generation.
Just say this again. What you're saying is embedded in the SAP SuccessFactor is the ability to make out a degree of motivation or demotivation in an employee. Is that what you're saying?
So it's the ability to assess and understand what is going on in your organization and why it is happening. So on one side, your basic reporting tells you what's going on. So I have a high attrition, but the employee or the experience data shows you why this is happening and what do you need to do as an organization in order to avoid that risk.
So this is interesting. How is this pattern generated? Is it through a profile of employees' work pattern, external factors? And it must be taking a lot of factors into consideration.
Yes, absolutely. So on one side, it's a survey-based, experience data collected, but it also uses the power of AI and machine learning to gain further insights from open-ended questions to understand where are the real risks and gap in an anonymous way, of course.
So are you saying this product is already alive with this intelligence?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Isn't it too fast? I mean, we're just hearing machine learning in the last 12 months. It's already been added in.
You'd be surprised that AI and machine learning is already embedded in a lot of HR, technologies. From the back office, robotic RPA or robot automatic processing is already used in shared service center and to manage, let's say, big loads of work from contract creation and so on. But also machine learning and AI is being utilized in learning recommendations, for example. So as an individual, if I go to my tool and it's known that I have a gap in a specific area, it comes and tells me these are the recommended learnings for you. But as well, people of a similar profile have used so and so and so. So it's like shopping on Amazon, but it's more for your own development.
But you would appreciate that when an employee suddenly gets such a recommendation, because they are from an information source which the employee doesn't even know, because it's so deep, they generally don't want to relate to it.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there needs to be a process of mentoring. Also, when you give a recommendation, like you mentioned about skills, this employee is well suited to pick up this.
Yeah.
If you just go to the employee and say, listen, this is what you think you should be doing, it takes some time for them to appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is your product too advanced or too early for its time?
No, I wouldn't say. I think it's the right product, let's put it this way. Because, it cannot take away the manager job. Of course, it's there to support the decision. And at the end of the day, these conversations or these continuous performance and development sessions need to happen on a more regular basis between managers and employee. Because if you think about the future workforce, by 2025, a lot of surveys are saying that 75% of your workforce will be millennials. This is a generation that really lives and thrives on feedback, on recognition, on exchange, on mentorship, on. And of course, they have a different expectation from experience at work with the tools that they use, but also how their managers are supporting them to progress. So
tell me again about, so let's assume this product, SAP SuccessFactor, can deep dive and have deep learning about people, right? About the soft aspects of people. Whether they are inclined, not inclined, what they should do this year, next year, and so on and so on. How do you sync it with human transformation of the organization?
Look, to support any business strategy, you need to have a clear translation of this into an HR strategy. And the first stepping stone is really your workforce planning. So what are the skills you need to build and how do you grow that team? Now, skills can be built in multiple ways. One, you can acquire skills that are too difficult to build, right? or you can put the programs and the tools or the learning tools in place to upskill your current workforce. And it can be a blended approach of all three of them in order to achieve what you want. I would say it differs from one organization to another, but the tool is there to enable that transformation to happen through technology.
What about the new job roles and new titles and the new structures? Are they also sort of already inbuilt? Like for example, if you want to create the data analyst,
yes,
or the chief digital officer, and then a full department under that,
yes,
or you want to create chief innovation officer,
yeah,
those soft linkages, what skills, what attitudes work for the department? Is it already future looking, or it's not really future proof as yet?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, the tool comes with already built-in best practices and job descriptions and so on. But there are sometimes job-specific roles that the company may have that may not necessarily exist in the library.
Right.
So they have the flexibility to use what is there and adapt it, or to bring in their own data and populate it. So both options are open.
Is there a switch for me to say legacy office, mobile office, distributed office? I mean, various types of office models, or it just sort of assumes one average? If you understand what I'm saying. 9 to 5 office, worker on the move office,
yeah,
work from home office, I mean, those sort of...
I think it supports pretty much flexible work environment and work policies, because when everything is mobile enabled, when again the organization is allowing that mobility to be available to their people, that will make the difference to the employees.